Hello and welcome to this week's Something Saturday. So as you can see, I've got all my embossing stuff back out again. And I don't know whether you've ever considered this, but you can emboss through decorative masks. Oh my gosh, I'm having a blank on it. Stencils, that's the word I'm after. So this one here, I have done. Now, how did I do it? Okay, so I did silver, which you can kind of see, and sort of, if you look carefully, you can kind of see that there are silver squares in the background there. And then I've gone over and I've done gold as well. So then the gold sits on top. And then I've used a little bit of the copper for the saying, because it comes in 3 colours. So we might as well use all 3. So I was kind of thinking it would look pretty cool if I used black and white on a red background. So I used those two to create this one as well. And then I've done that on a vanilla background, and I've actually just gone over it with the blending brushes to colour it up a little bit. Not sure I'm overly happy with that one. I don't think the intricacy of this works terribly well with it, but I really like the way that it comes out with this one, so that's what we're going to go with. Let's pop everything to one side, and that one too, and we will go for it. All right, so we need to have a bit of scrap paper. Let's move those out of the way. And you want to pop your scrap paper down, and ideally I would suggest that you go ahead and actually attach this down onto your scrap paper. So I've actually deliberately cut mine slightly bigger than I wanted it. And oh my goodness, right, come on Heather. Wow. All right, you know what? Round 2, let's just take this off and start again. Just goes to show that not everything goes quite right first time round, hey? Let's just turn that over, try again. All right, I would like this to actually stay straight. So let's see whether I can manage to tack it down straight this time, shall we? That looks a bit better. So I am intentionally going over the edge of the red as well. And I do intend to actually chop off a little bit of the red around the outside, because I plan to put this onto a card, kind of like I have done with this one, that it was a 6 to begin with, and then I've cut it down a little bit. So I will do the same thing with this. So let's just make sure that it's... But I really do want to make sure that it's not going to move on me while I'm doing this section. There we go. Right. So we don't need to worry about this, because the whole lot's going to be covered with Versamark. And it is a case of just pushing the Versamark pad onto this so that we end up with lots of Versamark on it. All right, that's looking pretty good. You just want to make sure that it has covered it all the way through. So I'm just leaning back and sort of checking it out on an angle to make sure that I can see that it's all looking quite shiny. I don't know whether you'll be able to see this or not. I can see that that bit there isn't looking quite as shiny as the rest is. Okay, I'm hoping that that's looking pretty good now. So you want a fairly juicy Versamark pad to do this with. And we are now going to try and remove this. Ah, yeah, look at that. That's looking pretty good, actually. Well, let's just pop that to one side. And we will swap bits of paper because I don't really want my powder to stick to the paper underneath as well. So I'm going to start off with black to begin with. Whoa. Oh my goodness, I'm going to get this everywhere. Excellent. All right, that's looking good. Right, just wipe off the excess off there. Let's get rid of this. And we're gonna just leave this on the surface here and heat emboss it. Actually, I have noticed that somehow I have ended up with a few extra bits. Just going to see whether I give it a good flick on the other side, whether that gets rid of some of these extra bits that are sort of in the aisles, as it were. I reckon that looks a bit better. Righty ho, so there we go. We now have black to begin with. Just wave that around a little bit. Make sure it's dry. Yep, it's dry. So then we want to use white. Now, where do I want to put the white? I kind of think it would be cool if I could have it a little bit like that, actually. How am I going to do that? Kind of aiming for little white boxes in the corners, sort of covering the corners there. Right, so let's just do the same thing with a bit of washi tape. Wonder whether I really need to let's just go for it. Oh, I should have done the okay, clearly I should have used this before I started on both occasions, actually, because I didn't, of course. So learn from my mistakes, as they say. This is how not to do it, maybe. hopefully that will now give us, ooh, that's looking good. All right, let's pop that to one side. Grab this one, bring in this one, and now we're going to go with white. I'm really curious to see how this turns out because obviously I haven't tried it yet, so I've got no idea. I'm hoping it's going to turn out a bit like a tartan, so that looks pretty cool so far, even though it's not embossed yet. Let's just pop all that back into there. And, oh my goodness, right, let's get rid of that. Alrighty, let's, moment of truth. Whoa, that's quite cool actually. I wonder what it would be like the other way around. Might not do it this video, but I might try it out and pop it onto my blog. So there you go, that's something randomly different that you can do with your oh, somewhat now sticky masks. Thank you, whoever put that into my mind. And your heat embossing. So with the heat embossing, when you buy the pack of embossing powders, oh, obviously I went and closed up my catalogue, that was good. You actually get 3 embossing powders in a pack. So you get black, white and clear. And you'll remember last week we used the clear. So then this card, as I say, has the 3 different embossing folders for this one. So this is the metallics embossing, not embossing folders, embossing powders, sorry. So that's got the gold, the silver and the copper embossing powder in it. And they come in the little jars like this, and they do last a long time, trust me on this, because it's taken me quite a while, but I am gradually getting down. And obviously I don't use the black as much as I use everything else, because the black is the one colour that I have heaps of. So clearly I need to start using black embossing powder more. There you go. So there is a takeaway from the video. Heather needs to use black embossing powder. Do come and join me again next week, and thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to share the love, and I will see you then. Okay, bye.